Hey guys, so this is Rick, and this is going to be a video of my apartment's Christmas decorations. I'm also going to be doing updated tours of the just general layout as well as the ceiling fans, because obviously those are also points of interest. But for this video, this is just going to cover the Christmas stuff. So starting out, we have this neon Christmas tree screw-in light bulb. It is from 2004, so it's coming up on 20 years here. And this I actually bought new when I was 9 years old. I got it at Walmart, and it's a Sunbeam. I believe Jonas remembers getting some of these things as well. This one, it has been on. I mean, obviously I don't burn it during the year, but you know, each Christmas, since 2004, it's been on for a while, so it's pretty impressive that still works. I know that it looks a little washed out in the camera, but there you go. It's green with the top part is actually just painted red, so I assume it's actually green neon with red paint on it, but very, very cool. I'm very glad it still works. So moving on, my apartment isn't quite as, or my Christmas decorations rather, are not quite as intense as Dan's are. But I do have a lot of vintage stuff in use, as well as, I believe every single room's got at least one thing. So, okay, so moving on, we got some kind of festive multicolor garland. It's very, very thin, and I assume it was always like that, but this is also probably 30 years old. My dad used to use this stuff. In fact, this exact one you see here, and there's a few other sets of them as well somewhere. He used to use these on his bar in the house I grew up in. Well, I mean, I lived there until I was 3. I don't have a super clear memory of it, but what I've been told is these were for his basement bar. So, and I inherited all those. This is probably the most reliable string, so that's why this one's the one in use. And yeah, they're just, your usual mini lights. The bases are interesting because they have like a more of a teal color to them rather than the dark green that you're used to seeing on modern ones. It's a 35 string, and a couple of years ago I went through and relamped the whole set with new bulbs just so that they all match, and it's not a patchwork of replacements. So, but yeah, these things are from the early 1990s, so they're pushing 30 years old now. And outside we got my gosh, that window looks dirty on camera, jeez. It doesn't look that bad in person, but anyway, outside I've got some all vintagey C9 incandescents. I actually keep the wire up all year and just put in white filament LED bulbs for just the general during the year, but Christmas time I do switch them all to red, white, and green. One of the strings is probably from maybe the 70s, early 80s, and then the other one is from 1998 when we moved into what I would consider my childhood house in Naperville. But this year, I always do red, white, and green, but I'll do some variation of like translucent and opaque. This year I did all opaque on the kind of drapes, and then the upper ones, hard to see on camera, are the kind of transparent type one. And they actually look even cooler in person because they're I think they call them triple dipped. They look almost black if they're not lighted. But since you've got like a 5 or 7 watt filament in there, and the really dark colors gives you these really very deep true colors, which I always thought was pretty cool. And then of course we got the more conventional ones on the bottom. So okay, so moving on, on my table here we got a couple of just general decorations. My brother and his now wife got that for me a couple years ago, and this one my dad's mom made probably 20 years ago. Now these are probably one of the more important Christmas decorations that I have. Doesn't seem like much, but it is just a kind of plush red garland with a set of 35 incandescent mini green lights. Now, these are significant to me because these have been a part of Christmas for every single year since 1998, so I would have been 3 then. My dad bought these new at Kmart, and that actually does check out with what I'm seeing on the tags as well. I don't know if it's going to show up right there, Kmart, and made in July of 1998. These have been like iconic in my mind for my family's Christmas every year, because we had these up every single year. It was always over the fireplace. We had like a mantle that overhung, you know, the fireplace, and then these would hang by 3 hooks. So I kind of mimicked that setup with ceiling hooks when I moved in here, so I could, you know, put up different lights for the different seasons. But this is the Christmas one, and I love them. I mean, these are very, very much childhoody for me. And interestingly, just to prove like how well loved this set has been, I did the same thing on this set that I did to these. I relamped the entire string with new green bulbs. It was all green originally, just like this. But when I did that, there were, I believe, 5 of the original bulbs left. Every other one had been replaced at least once. So, and it was kind of unreliable with that, you know, patchwork of, you know, mismatched replacement bulbs, and just, you know, just some are probably the wrong voltage or current rating. So it's good to just have one uniform set that's, you know, doesn't act up, and it has been very, very reliable since. But the, like I said, the actual light string itself is from 1998, as well as the garland. And I assume my dad wrapped these. I don't think they came like this. I think it was just a plain set of green lights, and then he wrapped that garland on it. So I was very happy to have those as an adult. Another little touch right here, my vintage tension pole lamp. It looks a little washed out on camera. Let's see if I can get it to focus a little better. Well, bottom one's LED green, top one's LED red, and that one's incandescent white. During the year, this is usually all incandescent 25-watt bulbs, but for Christmas I switch it to red, white, and green. I believe that about covers it for this room. And again, we'll do a little more in-depth tour of other things in another video. Now, I know it's kind of funny, but I was a little bit lazy with the tree this year. Best Christmas tree ever. I mean, just to give you an idea, that's a 6-inch portable fan. Hey, it's something. But anyway, the more interesting decorations are over here. These candelabras, I believe, are from, I don't know, I want to say the early 90s, maybe late 80s. These were my dad's mom's as well. She always used to put these in her front window, actually kind of like this. I know this is a side window, but it was one of those, what do you call it, casement windows, so much like this. And I actually use that same garland as well, so I'm really glad to have these. These are, they're a series of 12-volt incandescents. And actually, you can kind of see it on camera. One of them is a lot brighter than the other, and the reason for that is this one I relamped entirely a couple of years ago with new 12-volt bulbs, and it seems that the newer ones are a little bit lower current draw than the old ones, so they don't glow quite as bright. I mean, admittedly, these are probably better because they don't get so hot, but these are the original bulbs, and then those are new ones. I mean, it's not that obvious, but I mean, it's enough to mention, I suppose. Here's another Mueller family tradition for a long time. This is a ceramic Christmas tree dish on it. It's dated 1978 on the bottom. We've always put red and green M&Ms in this thing for Christmas every year. I've been doing that for many years, so I've been continuing that tradition. Also a good way to support our sponsors. Crunch, 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 crunch. This is my, this was also my dad's mom's. This was a, like, I don't know if these, it might have just been more something that I concocted when I was little, but I always thought it was cool to put this, like, you know, this is intended for like a normal fire burning candle, but I always thought it was funny to put this little single, you know, window candle thing inside of it, and I've been doing that for many, many years. I mean, and when I inherited some of my grandmother's Christmas decorations, this was definitely one I wanted to keep. I thought it was kind of cool. And that bulb's actually really old. That's probably from the 70s or 80s, I would think. Somehow still works. Oh, and I missed this little glass Christmas tree. I've had that for a long time too. I believe that was a garage sale find. Okay. All right, moving right along. Bathroom is actually one of my favorites. What I've done here is the I always have this LED strip over the bathroom, as you can see. Now it's an RGB one, so you can set it to different colors, and it does have limited fading ability. It's not really the best, but it's honestly best to just pick a color and leave it. During the year, I normally leave this on kind of a teal color just to go with the, I mean, I know it's, I've kind of got like a little bit of a beige and teal theme going in here, but normally I'll have that set to teal. But for Christmas, I set it to green because the green LEDs are nice and bright. And then one of the more recent additions, I'll talk about this fixture a little bit in the other video, but I put red bulbs in this, which is my kind of exit overhead light there. So we get red and green, and it really gives a really nice Christmassy vibe. And then also, we've got a couple of, these are probably from the 60s, I would say, maybe early 70s. Little mini trees. Those have been in the family for a very long time as well. And of course, a classic bubble light. I don't think the bulb itself is actually that old. It's probably from the 2000s or so. Maybe even, yeah, no, I think this one might be early mid 2000s, but still, it's still gives that vintage feel. And then another shot of that right there. Bulbs look more mismatched on camera than they actually are. They're both vintage GE bulbs, 25 watts. And then this room doesn't have much, but it does still have something. Yep, so that fan has a smart bulb in it. Normally I'll just have it set to, warm white kind of thing. Obviously you can do different brightness levels in that, but it does have the ability to, cycle through colors and fade and stuff. So I have a red-green loop for Christmas. So, something. And actually goes really well with the fan, given that it's a, dark green golden fan there. And lastly, the bedroom. I always have made a habit of putting these kind of cool, I forgot what these were called. It was around the same era as that neon Christmas tree. Walmart offered these like arc bulbs, I think. I can't remember what they were called. Also sunbeam, I believe. And this is a green one with snowflakes, so it's pretty festive. Another little thing I got here is a color changing fiber optic Christmas tree. My aunt and uncle got that for me probably about 10 years ago. Another longtime favorite is, hard to see given that these curtains are here, but I've got vintage candelabras in the windows. Now, it looks a little wonky given that they are mixed bulbs. They alternate red, like the flame red kind of thing. There, you can kind of see it in the reflection better there. They alternate red, white, red, white, red. Don't ask me why, but my dad's mom had done it like that for as long as I can remember, and it looks a little strange, but I wouldn't change it for the world. They've been like that ever since I was a kid, so I've maintained that pattern. I would imagine it was probably just because it was whatever bulbs they happen to have, so they just made it look, somewhat symmetrical, but I really love that, and that's been another iconic Christmas decoration my whole life, so pretty cool that I've got those. And again, you can't really see them in here, but outside they look great. And if you saw the preview, you would probably have seen those from the outside. So yeah, I believe that's gonna about cover it for Christmas stuff. So happy holidays to everybody, and thanks for watching.